Blinking.
That's good. Hey, Dave, a.p.c. Bowman, come on in. We are in the historic neighborhood of Fells Point in Baltimore, and this is a typical Baltimore, especially in Federal Hill, row homes. Got the nice ceiling, got the dental molding, it's got the original wood floors, which are in pretty good shape. We're going to be refinishing all of the wood floors. We're completely replacing the entire HVAC system for the house. The previous owners had painted every single, and if you can see here is a prime example, they painted over the outlets, which is never a good idea. So what we're going to do is, the electrician, we're going to replace all the outlets and all of the switches. They were painted over, and they were the original ivory, which is pretty much gone out of style. For some reason right here, they had just a marble slab, and I can tell you why. When they redid the house in the 80s, there was probably a small archway here. So rather than trying to patch the floor, the contractor who did the job back in the 80s, who we have found was not the best of contractors, he just decided to put a piece of marble on there. We are putting in new under cabinet lights, a new microwave, new dishwasher. Again, we've got new switches. This room back here is actually an addition. It's not original to the house. And what the contractor did, what we found that he did, was it's a stucco exterior. So this is the stucco here. Right here is the actual stucco, and right here is the actual stucco. What he didn't do is he didn't put a vapor barrier, which in turn let all that moisture soak through the masonry, and then the studs basically acted like a sponge. So this whole wall's got to be ripped down inside and outside and replaced. While we're doing that, there is a public alleyway that is right here. So my client is, we're going through the proper steps for the city to see if we can add an additional means of egress from the second floor, a door. But it's nice, got a little fireplace, got some nice skylights. You can see here that the water was running down the skylights. These are getting replaced. I do like skylights. The funny thing about skylights is one day or another they will always leak. So we're going to be replacing some of this floor in here. There's some water damage on the floor. Shouldn't be a big deal. And let's take a look. Let's take a look upstairs. Another thing we're going to do, I don't know if you can see it in this light, but whoever did the mud work right here, it's just awful. It just looks very, very beginnerish, very homeownerish. So, and again, these are the switches that we're going to replace because they're just old. I mean, this was very hard to even operate. So, now the client who bought the house is not a big fan of these gaps on the steps, so we're going to add matching shoe molding right over there. So as you come up the steps, you'll just have a little piece of shoe molding on every single step. Again, in this area, we've got the original floors. They're in good shape for original floors. These floors are probably 150 years old. So they've got little dings and nicks in them. Really, that's just character. As you can see, they go all the way down. So we're going to be refinishing them. And anywhere where we find an area like this, or like this especially, we're going to put some foam in, some filler, like somebody had done in the past here and here, because that's a lady's heel could get caught in that, and that could be a little painful, coming down the forehead so quickly. Again, here's a couple of other spots, and what you can also do here is, instead of using floor filler, wood filler, here's a good example. This is wood filler on one side, and on the other side, they've actually taken some of the old flooring and basically put it in like a shim, so you can fill in that gap. It is visible, but these floors are over 150 years old, so again, that just becomes character. There was a built-in here with some doors, some nice doors on it. Our client has decided to just make this whole thing into a closet as opposed to a bookshelf, which is probably more useful. In the bathroom here, we are going to. This place was definitely redone in the 80s, because I mean, if you look at the old, back when Reagan was president, this was probably really nice, but right now it's kind of ugly. So we're going to be replacing all of this faucet here, and we're gonna take it off of here. I'm going to get a piece of 3/8 AZAC and router the edge right over it, so it's not like big holes sitting there. And we're going to put a standard tub spout here, standard diverter, and a different shower head. This is on top of that built-in addition. That was the first one. It had a water problem. There's a nice walk-in closet. You can see the skylight here. And do me a favor, look how those skylights are mounted. If these skylights leak, every single skylight is going to leak eventually. That's just part of being a skylight. Comes with the territory. So the house, whoever owned a house prior, if you take a look at this, they were some messy individuals. This is just a vent from the HVAC system. Take a look down there. So we're going to have the ducts completely cleaned out, top to bottom, all 3 floors. If you're buying an older home, I definitely recommend that. Good way to see if you need it. Just pop it off. Take a look. Always put it back in, especially if it's in a walkway. Speaking of floors, let me show you up in this front room. When we got here on site, this was completely carpeted, and I'll have some pictures. I'll have a video of the pictures that we took prior to us starting. So this is completely carpeted, and the only piece of plywood that was down was the one that I'm standing on right here. These 3 we just added. But because of the plywood, we couldn't naturally refinish these floors. So what we did is we did add a nice new saddle, because what they did is they upholstered the carpet over it. The original saddle was about this big. It was in very bad shape. So we put a brand new saddle on there. It's basically just a stair tread. The carpet, instead of being wrapped around here, will now stop here where the door stops, which will just make more sense. And upstairs, this is one of the main gaps that the new owners didn't like. for adding the shoe molding to the steps like they have on the landings. So this floor, these floors were not carpeted. This floor was carpeted. We're going to refinish them, make them look just like the original, same color, same sheen. The other contractor had a step here that was, the step was 5 inches. So when you stepped onto this deck, only about half your shoe was on it. And you go out to your deck and you have a couple cocktails and you come out and you could probably take a spill. So we redid that. And let me show you what we were able to do up here. Again, we replaced this piece here because it was carpeted and it was just beat up and ugly. What we decided to do, they took new flooring. This was also a carpeted room. They took new flooring and basically they had all the seams all lined up right like that. And again, there's pictures. I'll take a video of the pictures that we took so you can see how awful it looked. We cannibalized the original flooring from where we're going to carpet on the second floor so we can make this look like it used to look, like the original flooring. Coat of paint, some new light fixtures. In this bathroom we're going to, this has got a nice old tub, and we're going to put a rain shower here and move the diverter up. This will remain here, but it will be non-functional. And we took out all the old accessories from the bathroom because they were straight out from the 80s. You take a look at the little courtyard that they've got here. It's not very large, it's not very big. Interesting thing is the house on this side here, this doesn't have any windows on it. This house that we're working on, there's like 15 windows just in this little courtyard, which really adds a lot of natural light. So I hate to see how dark that other house is. And let's take a quick look at the beautiful view that these folks have from their deck. And I can also show you how not to build a deck. This deck is old. As you can see, it's not in very good shape. There's a huge sag right here with a landing. And if you look at the brick line, you can see it starts here. And you can see how much it sinks all the way down. This joist is just from the weight of that one side of the stairs. That joist had a big knot in it, like right here, right where that sat. I mean, a good carpenter would never put that much weight on top of a knot. Basically what it did is it just snapped. So we're going to rip up all these deck boards. We're going to rip up all these stairs. Come on up. They use nails, which number one is never a good idea because they just pop off. So if you've got some young kids up here playing, horsing around, they're very dangerous. I'm going to take this entire deck up, and we're also going to eliminate this step here because this is a ridiculous step. There's no need for it. The entire deck will be at this side, this height. As you can see, it's that height here. So when we take apart the whole thing, we're just going to add joists to raise it up for one level. So when you're up here having a nice glass of wine or whatever, you don't have to worry about this. all new spindles, all new top rail. But if you turn around, take a nice span of the beautiful city of Baltimore, because this is a magnificent view. A.p.c. Bowman, thank you.